everyone. Welcome to the Glow podcast. I am here today with a very exciting guest that I'm excited to talk to and talk about his business and all the exciting things that he has going on. If you are new here, welcome to the Glow podcast. We are tailored marketing and we specialize in helping healthcare and health tech businesses grow and expand their audiences with strategic marketing strategies. I'm so excited to have you here today. If you could, I would love if you would just kind of go ahead and introduce yourself so that the audience knows who you are.
Thank you for having me today, Taylor.
Of
My name
course.
is Talal Ali Ahmad. I'm the founder and the CEO of Predictive Healthcare. We're based in the Boston area.
Awesome. Amazing. Yeah. And I'm excited to talk more about predictive healthcare and the exciting things that you all have going on over there. So can you kind of walk us through a little bit of your journey? I know you started in engineering and telecom and then also to the founding now of predictive healthcare.
Yeah, so by training, I'm an engineer, graduated from Northeast University here in the Boston area, and also I did my MBA also after that. So I started in the telecom career, field first when after school, and stayed in it for almost 10 years. From there, I worked for a startup company, and then I left. I started my own telecom company, and it
Yeah.
got acquired in 2012. And then when I took a year off from there, I met the founder of a Global Smile Foundation. It's a Boston-based NGO. They travel to the world to do a cleft lip and cleft palate surgery. So I traveled with them as a volunteer, helping with IT, logistics, you name it. And that's when I got exposed to the medical field, hanging around doctors, listening to them.
Yeah.
And it struck me when I was in one of the missions. I went up to like 5 missions a year. So people actually come in and wait on lines for hours to get their turn to see if they can do the surgery that week. And usually the surgeon's there for like 7 days. And I asked him, like, I mean, there's hospital in the country, there's surgeons. Why are the people waiting in line? He said, well, not every single surgeon here can perform the surgery. They have to be trained. And we cannot train them in 7 days. And we cannot help them while we're not here.
Yeah.
So we need something to train them, and they cannot fly all the time. And that's why I got introduced to the medical technology and start thinking, okay, maybe there's a way we can remotely train these doctors. And at that time, in 2014-15, Google Glass came out with the augmented reality glass. And we started looking at this. Hey, where would we use the Google Glass to remotely train the surgeon on performing the surgery? And that's the first medtech idea came up, and we started the Proximy, which is mainly the focus of the model. The mission for Proximy is to build a technology to train doctors which are separated by geographic. They don't have to fly in different locations. I started that company, left in 2021, and I started thinking what I want to do next. I decided to stay in the medical field and started predictive healthcare, and also based on the idea came from from Global Smile Foundation and also personal experience. In the Global Smile Foundation, the patient after the surgery, they go home and usually they live like 3 to 6 hours away. So for them to come back with any issue in question is a hassle. And that's why they started seeing a lot of complication. And we said, what if we can develop a technology that could take a picture, send it to you with some information? And they said, well, that's a good idea. We can start looking at this. We start looking at this, and then another issue happened when I came back home is my son had to go through a surgery. And after surgery, after discharge, we brought him home. He had some complication, rushed him to the emergency room. We waited there for 6 hours for the doctor to come in and look at it and say, well, we're going to change the antibiotics. And I said, like, you looked at it for 2 seconds. We waited 2 hours. We could have sent you a
Yeah.
picture instead of this. And everybody in the OR is taking pictures. Like he said, if you send me a good picture with some data, I could have saved you the trip. And that's what the whole thing idea said, like, we need to solve this problem. And given my background in engineering, I found it's a challenge. There's a way to fix this, and that's why predictive healthcare started.
Yeah. No, that's such a cool story. And yeah, it's funny how when you go through those personal experiences and you're like, why has nobody thought about this? You know, you're like, this could be solved in such an easier way. And especially with the technology that we have now, you would think there would be something almost. So it's kind of crazy that there's not, but that's such a cool story. I feel like the best inventions do really come from personal experience and the things that you see that, okay, we need this because I've had this issue. I know people are having the same issue.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you think first, like, how come nobody thought about this? Maybe they're not a valid or something, but as you think about it in the development, you talk to people, like, people, yeah, I can use this. And they start give you ideas. Like, for example, in our case, doctors were getting pictures through text message today, or
Yeah.
back then and still today. But most of the time, the picture is dark. They cannot see anything. Plus, sometimes the patient send a picture with the wound dressing on it, so the doctor cannot see anything.
Yeah.
There's no data like if you have a fever. So you start thinking, okay, it's about presenting clear data to the doctors, not just sending a picture because they can get picture anytime. And that's why we worked on image acquisition in addition to the algorithm to detect elevated risk of infection.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I'm sure you've talked to doctors and practitioners about this, especially like you said, like ER doctors, especially. What are kind of their thoughts on it? Like, do they think that this is a good solution?
Yeah, so when we start talking to doctors, we came up with two approaches looking at in the surgical ward, what's the infection rate? And some surgery, they have a low infection rate because the way it is. Some, they have high infection rate. There's about 15 surgeries, the infection rate in double digit. And it varies from one state, from one area to another because the warmer the weather, the more humidity, the more chances of getting infection. So
Yeah.
for them, the first thing is today we fly in blind. We are reactive. So we send the patients home. We tell them, if you have any issues, call us. And we give them a stack of paper, what to do in different scenarios. And the next thing we see, either the patient in the waiting room saying, I'm in a lot of pain, I can't handle it, or in the emergency room. So we
Yeah.
need something to connect us with the patient. And that's what the thing is. Connect me with my patient first and give me the right data so I can be proactive about what's going on instead of being reactive. So that's when we started. And then we said, okay, what kind of data you need? We said, like, image is a priority because image speak 1,000 words. And then the vital signs also can tell us, even the
Yeah.
picture looks okay, but the vital signs can indicate something happening. And then we can address it before it becomes a major issue, which takes time from our staff, overcrowd the emergency room, and the patient is not going to be comfortable and the outcome is going to be bad.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. Yeah, it's really just creating that line of communication between the doctor and the patient. And then also, like you said, I mean, and it's in the name, preventative. It's preventing any infections from happening because a lot of stuff, like when you're going to the emergency room, that's definitely reactive care. And
And
so if we can prevent those issues from happening, that's what we want.
And from the patient point of view, I mean, nobody want to go to emergency room. I mean, we know we have to be there for minimum 3 hours. And also after surgery, no one will go sit in the clinic and sit there for an hour waiting for the doctor. So it works for well. I mean, the patient is like, yes, if I can send a picture, save me the trip, I'll do it. I don't have to go to the clinic. I don't have to go to the emergency room. And that's kind of encouraged us from both sides. The doctors need to solve a problem, have a problem need to solve. And the patient saying, I don't want to go. I don't want to drive. Either I'll sleep through it or, I mean, I'll wait. So
Yeah.
that's where the whole idea came.
Yeah, a lot of times if you're going to the emergency room, you're going at kind of like the last minute. Like it's like the last option. You're like, okay, I have to go now because it's so bad where I am in pain.
And usually it's a Murphy's Law. It happens like when the doctor's out that day or
Yeah.
it's a weekend.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. It never works out with timing. And yeah, I mean the emergency room anytime I've ever had to go, you brought up a really good point. You're there for like 3 hours, and then if say you are in a more rural area and you're having to travel 3 hours, then that's 9 hours of time that you're spending just to see your doctor when you could send a picture and get kind of a clear idea of what's going
Exactly.
on. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that definitely makes sense. And so, what does kind of like from a patient's perspective, if I was someone that was using the app, how does it kind of work with uploading your different images? Is it an app, or how does the patient kind of go about doing this?
Yeah, so the platform consists of two mobile app and one dashboard. One mobile app for the patient, one for the doctor, and a dashboard also for the doctor. So the way we've seen it happening is pre-surgery, the last visit before the surgery, the nurse helped the patient to download the app on their phone, set them up to be ready, and show them how to use it. And they set up the surgery on our platform, and they set up the scheduling. We need to take a picture every other day after the first 7 days and
Okay.
take vital signs. After the patient is discharged, they get an alert saying, time to take your picture. So they pull the phone. Same way they take a picture for selfie, and same thing. The same concept. They point it at the wound. We tell them, get closer, get further. And when the square turn green around the wound, we'll snap the picture,
Okay.
uploaded, and they have to enter vital signs. They will after that. We analyze the image first, and we come up with a predictive outcome and alert the clinician, elevated risk or standard risk. The clinician get the data, the image and the data with our prediction, and they follow the standard of care. So we're not telling the patient, well, you have something, or go to the hospital. We just present the data to the doctor, and the doctor will follow standard of care. So, and we have a notification for the patient to when to upload picture they missed, like within 24 hours. And also we alert the doctor when every time there's a new data coming in.
Cool. No worries. You're fine.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's a simple and easy to use. The platform today is integrated with Epic. We're already on Epic showroom, so we can
Awesome.
grab data from Epic, push it to our platform, and vice versa. And we are class one, FDA class one software as a medical device, HIPAA compliant. And 2 weeks ago, we just got our patent on the technology. So we're patent technology right now in the US, and we're waiting for Europe now.
Awesome. That's so exciting. That's super, super exciting. And so that's really cool. So it integrates with the hospital's system like Epic as well,
Correct.
too.
Correct.
Okay.
So they can use it independently, or they can use it with Epic. We push data from Epic, like patient information, instead of trying to enter into system. And when the patient sends the data, we can push it to Epic to be in one centralized place.
Okay. That's super cool. That's a cool concept for sure. And then the patent too. That's amazing. That's very,
Yeah.
very exciting
It took
and
us 2 years, a lot of going back and forth, and finally we got it.
awesome. Well, congratulations on
Thank you.
that. And then also FDA approval is big too, because I know that can be a process as well. So where right now do they have predictive healthcare? Like what hospitals are currently using it? And yeah.
Yeah, so we started first, we did a pilot with the Global Smile Foundation. They were our first kind of proof of concept. And they're a customer right now. They do about 300 surgeries a year.
Mm-hmm.
So they're managed now. They're post outpatient through our platform. So technically they're customers. And we're doing two pilots in the Boston area to get more data to show the algorithm, get feedback. One at Mass General in Boston, and the
Mm-hmm.
other one at Tufts Medical Center. And they'll be running two pilots there. And I can mention the name, that we're talking to another West Coast hospital to do kind of trial of the algorithm before they buy it.
Okay.
We're getting a lot of feedback from the clinician and from the patients, and we're ready to be commercially available by end of the year. That's the plan.
Awesome. That's super exciting. And it's that, yeah, I mean, running it at different places to kind of get the feedback from the clinicians and the patients is good because obviously it's a newer technology. So you want to see what people are saying about it. And so, what kind of like you're collecting more than just images as well. So, can you you spoke to this a little bit earlier with the vitals, but could you talk a little bit more about how the vitals are helping with patients and doctors as well?
Yeah. So one disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. I'm just reporting what I heard
Yeah.
and they told me. So we are monitoring the surgical incision, surgical wound, and it's like the surface infection. We're not going deep in the tissue to look for infection.
Yeah.
When a wound, we compare the wound, like what color of the wound is today compared to days ago, 3 days ago. So maybe it's red today, but comparing to 2 days ago, it's more red or less red. So
Yeah.
the doctor cannot say much there, like, okay, yeah, it's red. it should be normal or not. But if the wound is red and someone reporting like high fever the last 24 hours and pain the last 24 hours, that means something is happening. It's not just redness now. So that we use that data to kind of enhance our prediction. We can collect up to 22 data point between vital signs like pain level, medication adherence, if the wound warm to the touch, the sleeping, all these kind of stuff, and all this will try to correlate it with the picture for the doctor to come up with a kind of follow the standard of care or decide what to do the next step.
Yeah. No, okay, cool. Yeah, that's all super helpful just to kind of get a bigger picture of how all of the different data is playing into the decision for the algorithm as well as for the doctor and the practitioner.
I mean, one
And
other data set is which we don't use right now, but that's something. It's the patient medical history. For example, if someone has diabetes or blood pressure, so the redness for that patient could mean it's more risk compared to someone who's healthy.
yeah,
So that's kind of phase two of the development.
yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. And we were talking a little bit too about the pilot programs.
Mhm.
Have you seen any early success stories or meaningful patient outcomes with kind of the pilot programs that you guys have been running?
Yeah, so we've seen like with the two pilots, like where the application is working, connecting the patient with the doctor, and they're discovering things like the picture will tell them what's going on, and they call the patient, and I can't give you the specific yet, but it's been working. That's what we're working on, and we're gonna be publishing the data on that. We started with for everything we've done, we've started with the 65% accuracy of our prediction, now up to 84 to 85%, and the goal
Wow.
to go above 90. So the way it works is, and the reason for that is because when the patient submit a picture and the doctor look at it and they can say agree or disagree, we can take that feedback to feed the algorithm one more time to learn more from the
Yeah.
picture. Because if we say normal healing or standard healing, and but the doctor disagree, and when the doctor say no, I see hydration, for example, then we take that data and tell the algorithm, you missed it, you need to look at this next time. So we
Yeah.
continue training the model.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's just continuously learning from the new data that's coming in. And yeah, no, that's great. So, so we talked a little bit too about this earlier with FDA and then also HIPAA compliance as well. Sometimes larger organizations, including hospitals, can kind of have tech integration challenges. So, how are you handling that as well as kind of compliance concerns?
So, given coming from the second med technology startup, so I know what's the hospital looking for. So when we built the software, we made a decision from day one to be compliant and come to security, privacy, and everything, HIPAA and security. So we built that from day one, including it integrated with Epic. So the hospital want to make sure the data transmission, where this data sitting is secure, and we meet that requirement today. And integrating with Epic, each hospital has different flavor or different way of set up Epic, so it's going to be different with each one of them. But we have
Yeah.
the basic to connect and work with them. And again, privacy and security is not it's a journey. So you don't
Yeah.
say, I'm secure, I'm compliant, I'm stopping here. No, it's a journey. You have to be ahead of the game, continue, and we continue to do that. We're always
Yeah.
looking at improving security and privacy in our platform. And the hospital, they're doing a good job because they have a set of rules, which is standard. They say this is the rules we play by, this way we transmit data, this way we can access data, and we follow that. It takes time. If you work in the medical field, you know things move a little bit slow because they have a process in place. Sales cycle is 14 to 18 months.
Yeah.
Implementation can take up to 6 months, depends on the hospital size and everything. So we have to be ready. So we cannot be reactive to what the hospital looking for. We're always looking what's new in privacy and security and trying to implement it ahead of time so we'll be ready for the implementation.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. And so, with obviously growth and everything and the longer sales cycles with hospitals as well that you brought up, what does kind of growth for predictive healthcare look like over the next year to 5 years?
So So we're trying to, given the environment we're in right now, we're a startup company. Funding is a challenge, so we're trying to manage the cash flow as much as we can so we can continue operating based on the market today. So our goal for this year, by end of this year, to convert at least one or two of the pilots to commercial customers, and next year to add hopefully 3 to 4 more because we want to start today.
Yeah.
So our market is it's big. I mean, if you look at remote patient monitoring, it's a huge market. But if you look at surgical market, in the US alone is $28 billion a year market.
Yeah.
And our optimal market, addressable market is about 5 billion. So we're looking to be 100 million plus company in the next 6 years.
Yeah. That's awesome for sure. And yeah, it is a longer sales cycle for sure, and it takes a little bit more time. Has that been kind of one of the biggest challenges for you, or is it getting in contact with the hospitals? What's kind of been the biggest challenge with getting the product really into consumers and then also practitioners' hands?
So we sell to hospitals and
Yeah.
surgical centers. So our target customers are the hospital and surgical center, but the user are the doctors primarily. So
Yeah.
for us, reaching the right person to buy the product, either we can go to top of the hospital down,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, you need a champion inside the hospital. So usually what we do, we find a champion first, we explain to them and convince them or like make them like the product, and then we walk with them through the process. It's
Yeah.
easier though because if you start from the top, then you have to go find a doctor to work to be at first adopted in the hospitals, and it's take a long time. So we focus on finding a champion inside the hospital and go through this, and that's what takes time. By the time you meet the doctor, you have an appointment, you shoot a demo, and they want to try it. It takes time.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a process for sure. But then I'm sure once they see the product, it's easy to find a champion once they see kind of how the product works and
Correct.
everything.
Yeah, when they see our work, and we work with doctors a lot, so we know time is very valuable for them. So they cannot spend on
For
the app
sure.
5 minutes to do things. It has to be quick. Look at the image, agree, do things, or forward to someone in the clinical decision team to follow the standard of care. So that's the key for us. It's not like another tool is going to spend 10 minutes on it in order to do one thing. It has to be quick. This is the
Yeah.
data. You act on it and move on to the next.
For sure. Yeah, no, definitely. Using something that's easy to use for sure. And how do you kind of see this industry with AI and mobile tech evolving over the next 5 years or so with, things like AI now becoming very commonplace and things that are being used more and more often? How do you see that continuing to evolve with not just predictive healthcare, but healthcare in general too?
So before like the big noise about AI, I mean, radiology has been using AI for a while to read X-ray images, but now
Yeah.
it's like everybody's AI. AI is here to stay, but not the way we people think about it. Oh, next time I'm going to go see a doctor run by AI. It's not the case. You're not going to go see
Yeah.
a robot. AI is going to be a tools which enable the doctor to see things or look at things that couldn't see before, or very deep in the record somewhere. So it's a tools to give more information to the doctor. So the way we think about AI is a tool sitting on the top of data where it can give you in a split second can give you enough information to make your decision instead of trying to dig in through things. So it is there to stay. It's going to enhance a lot of the workflow, the decision making in the hospital, and hopefully solve the kind of the labor overburden in the hospital, like the shortage or overworked nurses and practitioner in the hospital. That's the key, and that's one of the problems we're solving is with this AI. It gives you information. You don't have to be calling the patient every day, checking on them, or show up and you have to treat them. So I would say the AI again, it's AI is not we're not an AI company. We're
Yeah,
using AI to deliver solutions,
for
and that's
sure.
the key. And that's what the way AI, is, in my opinion, is going to be in the future. It's going to help deliver a solution.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. It's not going to take over anything. It's just going to be complementary to our practitioners, nurses, doctors, all
Yeah,
of
I
that.
mean, It can process information faster than the human brain, so might as well use it to get your data you need.
Yeah, no, definitely. I completely agree with you. Well, tell everyone the best way to find you online, find predictive healthcare as well if they want to look more into the solution. And then I'll also put everything in the show notes too for easy access.
Well, I mean, you can find us on the web and predictivehealthcare.com and on LinkedIn. You can find us, and we're based in Boston. I mean, we're easy to find.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on and talking about your business, Predictive Healthcare, as well as kind of what's evolving in healthcare tech. And so I really, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Taylor. Thank you.